Hi, poets. To be or not to be is the playwright William Shakespeare's famous question from his play Hamlet. To punctuate or not to punctuate is the question all poets ask themselves. One of the wonderful freeing things about poetry is that you, the poet, get to decide the answer to this question. That's right, you get to decide whether or not there will be punctuation in your poems and where. Unlike writing traditional sentences in our narratives, essays, and short stories, where the rules of punctuation are ironclad, poetry is one of few genres of writing where the poet gets to relax, bend, or completely ignore the rules. For this lesson, you'll need your writer's notebook and a pencil. Pause the lesson if you need to gather these items. Okay, let's continue. By the end of this lesson, you should have a better idea of when to use punctuation in poetry, why you might use it, and whether you need punctuation at all. Also, you'll start to make decisions about punctuation in your own poetry. Can you think of another editing rule that poets get to relax, bend, or completely ignore? Write your thoughts about this question in your writer's notebook. Punctuation marks are the traffic lights of poetry. Just like the green, red, and yellow lights tell drivers how to drive, commas, exclamation points, and periods tell us how to read a poem. Think of the red light as a period, a full stop. Commas are like the yellow light, asking us to pause. And think of the green light as places where there are no punctuation. You should keep going in terms of reading. Punctuation or lack of punctuation helps to give a poem expression and meaning. Let's practice this with a poem by Langston Hughes called The Dreamkeeper. I've made punctuation changes to Hughes's poem 2 different times, and these changes definitely alter how you would read the poem. Based on the punctuation, I would read example 1 like this. Bring me all of your dreams, you dreamers. Bring me all of your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth, away from the too rough fingers of the world. Do you notice how the periods used frequently in this example forces me to stop? It sounds a bit harsh, doesn't it? In example 2, I've included only one punctuation mark, the period at the end. It might sound something like this when read aloud. Bring me all of your dreams, you dreamers. Bring me all of your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth, away from the too rough fingers of the world. Here, it seems the green light is on constantly, and I'm going, going, going. Now let's take a look at how Langston Hughes actually decided to use punctuation in his poem, The Dreamkeeper. Bring me all of your dreams, you dreamers. Bring me all of your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth, away from the too rough fingers of the world. We can see that Hughes makes decisions about punctuation. At times he uses commas, inviting readers to slow down and pause. Other times, the green light is on and he urges us to keep going. And he uses one period at the end to mark the stopping place. I'd like you to punctuate one of your poems 2 different ways. Then read them out loud to determine which way sounds best to you. Which version conveys the feeling and expression you intended? Remember, you won't always be present to read your poem out loud to us, so the punctuation or lack of punctuation will tell readers how you'd like us to read your work. The 2 versions of your poem should be written in your writer's notebook. I look forward to seeing your work and to discussing the ways you made decisions about punctuation.